Bible presents, a family is a group of people united by God in a journey together as designed by God. So naturally, parents have a greater impact on children's Christian life. Therefore, parents should include scripture and Bible reading as part of family routine. This video will suggest some practical tips for introducing children to the Bible. Like any other subject, you cannot teach without knowing the subject. Therefore, the parents need to know Bible before teaching them to their children. So learn the scriptures yourself first as you begin teaching them to your children. If you struggle with understanding a biblical verse, please contact your priest or pastors for clarifications. Also, there are many informative books there in your translation of choice. Grab a Bible concordance, Bible dictionary, or biblical encyclopedia of your choice if you really want to get detailed. This would be a great use with older children as well. The first step in reading the Bible to the children, I think, is nothing but informing your children a good reason to read the Bible. Recent scientific research shows that the children do best when they are motivated by the aim of their studies. That is why it is so important to answer the why question up front and to keep it in front when reading the Bible with our children. So, try to answer this important question first. Why are we reading the Bible? My simple answer to my children were, we are reading the Bible together because we want to know and love God and live our lives for His glory and the good of others. That is my purpose statement. Your statement may be slightly different, but having a purpose statement and informing your children about the purpose statement is essential for developing a habit of reading the Bible with your children. Reading the Bible with your children will be more effective if it becomes part of our routine. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks to build a habit by doing something at the same time, in the same place, with the same person. There will be ups and downs in that period, with times of forgetfulness and catch up, but it will eventually become part of the fabric of life. Try to find a slot in your schedule that you can commit to. Push through the first 6 to 8 weeks, and you and your children will have formed a holy habit. As someone who once tried to teach my children the biblical lessons, I know the folly of unrealistic expectations. That lasted about 4 days, and that's about how long many of our Bible readings plans last too. We set Everest goals and don't even get to the base camp. It took me many years to grasp the limitations of my children's minds when it comes to my spiritual ambitions for them. However, by the time the boys were about 10 or 11, I had drastically lowered my goals, and then it began to click. We read less, but learned more. When I was young, I had a habit of randomly reading some Bible verses here and there. The result was a patchwork of Bible knowledge with no sense of an overall story and no sense of connection between the passages, the chapters, the books, or the testaments. It took some time for me to develop out of this habit. When reading the Bible with our kids, let us do so systematically, reading whole books of the Bible together over time. Doing so will teach them to wrestle with harder passages, expose them to the whole counsel of God, and forge connections within books, and between the testaments. Asking our children questions about what they read increases their concentration, cements the content, and helps them to apply it to their lives. When children are young, the focus should be on content, using the familiar what, where, when, and who questions. The aim is to build up their store of Bible knowledge. As our children get older, we can ask questions more focused on the meaning and implications of the passages. 2 questions I have tried to keep asking my kids are, what does this teach us about God? And what does this teach us about us? Again, I hope that by repetition, these questions become part of the fabric of their thinking process. Other general questions might include, what does this teach us about sin, the world, the Christian life, mission and evangelism, and so on? We should also invite questions from our children, although they will sometimes ask silly questions or perhaps even stump us from time to time. We must not do anything that will stifle their inquiries, and even when they strike us out, we simply say, I don't know, but I will find out. Dear friends, I believe that God has entrusted parents to introduce their children to the Bible. The tips outlined here, such as learning the Bible for yourself, establishing a philosophy of reading the Bible and convincing your children about it, establishing a routine to read the Bible, setting up realistic goals, being systematic and encouraging our children to ask questions will help you introduce your children to the Bible. These tips have helped me immensely, and I hope this will work for you as well. I wish you all the very best. May God bless.